Hey guys, in this video I want to share with you 3 really easy ways that you can warm up your hips. Now if you know me, you know that I've had hip pain in the past, and warming up my hips has been a vital part of being able to run as many miles as I want. So here are 3 really easy ways that you can do it. So come on down, we're going to start on our side, and you're going to just get yourself situated so that you have shoulders and hips stacked on top of one another, and your heels kind of want to be in line with your tailbone here. And we're just going to do some of those same hip cars, those controlled articular rotations that we've done in the past, but in this body position. So what I'm going to do is take this top leg, float it off the bottom one. I'm going to bring the knee up towards my nose in front of me, but I don't want to round or extend my spine, so everything stays nice and neutral here. I bring the knee up, I bring the knee towards the sky, and as I do this, this bottom leg is pressing into the floor to keep me stable and provide a little leverage. Now this top leg is going to rotate and trace a nice big circle as far back as I can without tipping over, so everything stays where it is. And you can choose to use maybe a block or use your arm to keep your body in line, but whatever way you want to do it. Let's try it again. Float the leg up, bring it forwards, send the knee towards the sky, rotate the whole leg from the hip socket, and then extend it back to open the front of the hip and bring it forwards. So slow and controlled is the name of the game here, and I just want to see what my greatest range of motion is as I do this. So you can do 3 forwards, and we'll go 3 backwards, and we're just going to go slow, because that's really where the work is and where you'll be able to feel the warm-up happening. So to go in the reverse, float the leg up, send it backwards so we open across this hip, so turn on that glute. Then rotate the whole leg so the knee points towards the sky, and then circle it up and around. Same thing here, you don't see my body rocking front to back. I'm staying stacked and just making some nice big circles. Here's the last one. Then we're going to take this top leg and extend it long. And now I'm going to rotate from the hip, and I'm going to turn the toes down towards the floor. And I'm just going to lift and lower the leg 5 times. So nothing about my upper body, my hips changes. I'm just rotating the leg from the hip, lift and lower 5 times. And then I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to rotate so the toes point towards the sky. And I'll do the same thing, trying to touch my heel down, but noticing if I try to do that and my hips pop, if this bottom hip pops off the floor, keep it pressing into the ground and just stop wherever you feel that hip wanting to lift and pop off the floor. So for me, not quite am I able to touch this heel to the ground. So I'll do that 5 times. Then I'm going to roll onto my back, and I'm going to place my feet on the floor and just do some bridges. You've definitely done these before. So feet about hip width apart, pressing into the ground. I'm going to work from my tailbone and roll through my spine to lift the back of my rib cage up off the ground 5 times. And then I'm going to make the back ribs heavy and roll through my spine to put my tailbone back on the floor. Okay, so it's kind of like a segmental rolling of the spine. Nice and slow. 5 times. And then on this last one, see if you can shift your weight into this left leg to lift the right one up off the floor, and do 5 single leg bridges just like this. And then we'll put the right foot down and do 5 on the right. So press into bridge, shift the weight into the right leg, lift the left one, hips down, hips up, 5 times. As the hips come back down to the floor, you'll simply roll over and do your second side. I'm just going to switch positions this way, but you would just roll to your second side. I'm going to bring the block with me because I like that for my head. So again, everything gets into alignment here, heels kind of underneath your sitting bones, and then we float the top leg up, we bring it forwards without tilting the pelvis. It's not about how high you can bring the knee, it's about how much activation you can get going here. Knee towards the sky, the whole leg rotates, and we trace that nice big circle. So again, slow and controlled is the name of the game. And then this whole series, we're going to do 5 on this top leg. Sorry, 3 in the forwards direction, 3 in the backwards direction. This is why sometimes I get really bad in class with counting. Let's go backwards. And let me finish my thought here. You can do this sequence as many times as you like. So we're going to go through it once. Last one in the backwards direction here. But you could string together a couple rounds of this to really warm up the hips. Extend the top leg, rotate from the hip, the toes point down. Don't just try to get this rotation by angling the toes down and letting it come from the ankle. So keep this nice straight leg in a 90-degree angle and then rotate from the whole leg. It might just be a tiny little bit, and that's okay. So toes point down, and we lift 5 times. And just constantly checking in and seeing that we aren't borrowing from the ankle to make it happen. So 5 lifts with the toes pointed down. Now the whole leg spins out, and the toes point towards the sky somewhat, right? Again, try not to make it so that like the ankle gets involved and the toes do some funky thing. The whole leg rotates. Maybe the heel touches down, maybe it doesn't. When I try to do this, my bottom hip pops up off the floor, and I don't want that. I want to stay where I am and just do 5 leg lifts this way. Probably feeling some of these new muscles light up. 4, 5, that might have been 6, who knows? Let's roll over onto our back and do the same thing that we did on the other side. We do 5 bridges and then 5 single leg bridges on each side. So again, rolling from the tailbone all the way up through the spine, pausing at the top, really turning on those glutes, and then making the back ribs heavy. They come to the floor first, then the small of my back, then the back of my pelvis. Good, that's 2, nice and slow. 3. Last 2, rolling from the bottom to the ribs, from the ribs to the bottom. Last 1. As you get to the top here, shift your weight to the right, pick up the left foot, and then see if you can drop and lift. And with these bridges, I'm moving the whole thing at a time. I'm not trying to do them segmentally. You certainly could, but I'm just going to do 5 lift and lowers here. Last 1. Put that left foot down, press all the way up into the bridge, shift my weight left, lift that right leg, lift and lower. Now it might be tough enough for you to just lift the leg and not do the bridges, and that's okay. In that case, what you could do is just from the upper bridge, shift and pick up that foot and try to keep the hips from dipping when you do, okay? So you'll stay high, keep the hips high. You could even put something underneath you like a block or a tennis ball, or just something that might give you some feedback to let you know if your hips are dipping. So my hips aren't touching the block, and so if I were to let them dip as I lifted each leg, I would feel that feedback from the block. So my goal is to keep driving through this bottom leg to keep that side lifted as I lift the other leg, so that it doesn't dip or shift back and forth. Okay guys, that's it. Well, those are 3 really simple moves that you can use to help warm up your hips. If you're liking this kind of thing, dive down into the notes below and sign up for my ultimate hip routine for runners. It's a series of full-length practices that you can use to build strength, stability, and mobility in your hips so that you can run farther, faster, and stronger. Okay guys, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!